announced that Toyota will be building portable transportation, and a place where we can welcome people and partners from around the world.
Picture this. It's 2028, and you're pulling into a charging station with your Toyota electric vehicle. 10 minutes later, about the time it takes to grab a coffee, you're back on the road with enough charge to drive over 600 miles. The battery in your EV? It's guaranteed to last 40 years without meaningful degradation. Sound like science fiction? Toyota's betting everything it's not. The world's largest automaker just doubled down on solid-state battery technology, promising commercial vehicles loaded with this revolutionary tech by 2027 and 2028. For years, critics labeled Toyota as the laggard in the EV race, clinging stubbornly to hybrids, while Tesla and Chinese competitors sprinted ahead. But what if Toyota wasn't late at all? What if they were simply waiting to leapfrog everyone with technology that makes today's lithium-ion batteries look like relics? But before we can understand why this matters so profoundly, we need to unpack what Toyota's actually promising, and whether these promises hold water. The Japanese Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry has validated Toyota's plans to begin solid-state battery production by 2026, with mass production projected to start around 2030. While initially limited, Toyota's production plans will gradually expand through 2027 and 2028. This isn't just corporate posturing. It's government-backed industrial policy, with real money behind it. The strategy hinges on two critical partnerships that transform Toyota's ambitions from laboratory dreams into manufacturing reality. Toyota has partnered with Sumitomo Metal Mining to mass-produce cathode materials for its solid-state batteries, with the mining company targeting production by Japan's fiscal year 2028. The collaboration builds on joint research dating back to 2021, focusing on developing cathode materials that resist degradation during repeated charge-discharge cycles. Meanwhile, Toyota and Idemitsu Kosan entered into an agreement to work together in developing mass production technology of solid electrolytes to achieve the mass production of all solid-state batteries, seeking to ensure the successful commercialization in 2027 to 28. Yet here's where things get uncomfortable. The automaker initially promised solid-state batteries in production vehicles by 2020, then pushed the target to 2023, then 2026, and now 2027 to 2028. Each deadline has slipped like sand through fingers. Toyota executive Keiji Kaita, president of the company's Carbon Neutral Advanced Engineering Development Center, confirmed at the Japan Mobility Show that solid-state battery production remains on track for the 2027-2028 timeframe, adding that the technology would deliver high power, compact size, long range, and long life. The real question isn't whether Toyota can make the batteries, it's whether they can make them on time and at scale. The solid-state revolution, explained at its core, the difference sounds almost absurdly simple. Swap liquid for solid. But that fundamental shift unlocks everything. A solid-state battery uses a solid electrolyte to conduct ions between the electrodes, instead of the liquid or gel polymer electrolytes found in conventional batteries. Think of the electrolyte as a highway for charged particles. In traditional lithium-ion batteries, those particles swim through liquid. In solid-state batteries, they march through solid material. A typical lithium-ion battery has a liquid electrolyte solution sandwiched between two solid electrodes, while the new solid-state battery would replace that liquid electrolyte with a third solid. This structural change matters immensely because liquid electrolytes impose inherent limitations. They're flammable, they degrade over time, and they constrain how densely you can pack energy into a given space. Solid-state batteries theoretically offer much higher energy density than the typical lithium-ion or lithium polymer batteries. Here's why. With a solid electrolyte acting as both ion conductor and separator, solid-state batteries can use metallic lithium for the anode and oxides or sulfides for the cathode, increasing energy density, while the solid electrolyte acts as an ideal separator that allows only lithium ions to pass through. The ions don't wade through liquid anymore. They hop between crystalline structures in the solid material, potentially moving faster and more efficiently. Toyota's collaboration focuses on sulfide solid electrolytes, which are seen as a promising material to achieve high capacity and output for battery electric vehicles, characterized by softness and adhesiveness to other materials, which is suitable for battery mass production. This isn't theoretical anymore. Toyota and Idemitsu claim they've cracked the material science puzzle that stumped researchers for decades. The promised performance numbers. The specifications sound almost too good to be true, and that's precisely why skepticism runs deep. Early models could deliver up to 621 miles, 1,000 kilometers, of range on a full charge, potentially increasing to 750 miles. To put that in perspective, the current BZ4X, Toyota's flagship EV, struggles to break 300 miles on a good day. We're talking about more than doubling range in one technology leap. The charging time claims border on revolutionary. Charging could be as fast as 10 minutes, addressing one of the key challenges in current EV technology. More precisely, Toyota's first solid-state battery is expected to offer a 621-mile driving range with an 80% fast charging time of just around 10 minutes. That's a 10 to 80% charge in the time it takes to use a restroom and grab a snack. Current Tesla superchargers need roughly 15-20 minutes for the same state of charge, and that's with considerably less range being added. Then comes the durability claim that truly staggers belief. Toyota has reaffirmed its commitment to launching solid-state battery electric vehicles by 2027-2028, promising revolutionary 40-year battery lifespans and over 621 miles of range. 40 years. Kaida explained at the Japan Mobility Show that compared to traditional batteries, the solid-state battery's lifespan may be 4 times longer. This means the battery could outlive the vehicle it powers, potentially making battery replacement an obsolete concern entirely. The energy density improvements undergird all these gains. Solid-state construction allows Toyota to pack more energy into less space and weight, which means either dramatically extending range with the same size battery or maintaining current range while slashing weight and cost. It's this energy density advantage that makes the spectacular range and charging claims physically plausible rather than pure fantasy. Why this took so long? Solid-state batteries have been the next big thing in energy storage since before the smartphone era. Yet they've remained perpetually 5 years away. The reason comes down to brutal physics meeting real-world durability demands. The brittleness of many solid electrolytes, particularly ceramics, complicates handling during manufacturing and reduces durability on roads and highways, as vibrations and stress can cause battery cracks and mechanical failure. Dendrites propagate primarily due to pressure buildup at the electrode-POC solid electrolyte interface, leading to crack extension. Your throat? These dendrites are needle-like lithium structures that form during charging, potentially piercing through the solid electrolyte and short-circuiting the entire battery. Such anodes tend to suffer from the formation and growth of lithium dendrites, non-uniform metal growths, which penetrate the electrolyte leading to electrical short circuits. causing energy discharge, overheating, and sometimes fires or explosions due to thermal runaway. Sato said the big challenge in bringing solid-state batteries into commercial applications has been the issue of durability and cracking, explaining that since 2013, their partner Idemitsu has been working together to solve this issue, developing a highly flexible, adhesive, and crack-resistant solid electrolyte through repeated trial and error by combining the material technologies of both companies. That crack-resistant material represents the genuine breakthrough, not just better performance on paper, but durability that can survive real-world conditions. Idemitsu has worked on solving this issue with Toyota since 2013, and through a decade of trial and error, the two companies combined their technologies to develop a flexible, highly adhesive, and crack-resistant solid electrolyte material. This represents over a decade of iterative materials science, tweaking molecular structures, testing failure modes, and slowly closing the gap between laboratory success and automotive-grade reliability. Toyota's battery roadmap. Leading up to this solid state isn't arriving in isolation. It's the crown jewel in a carefully staged battery evolution. Toyota's strategy involves rolling out progressively advanced batteries, each building manufacturing expertise and market confidence, while the solid-state technology matures. The bipolar structure battery, which has been used in the Aqua and Crown hybrid vehicles, is now being applied to battery electric vehicles, using inexpensive lithium iron phosphate, LFP, as a material and expected to be put to practical use in 2026-2027. This popularization battery targets mass-market vehicles where cost matters more than maximum range, achieving a 20% range improvement over the BZ4X with a 40% cost reduction. Next, Toyota pitches a monopolar performance battery with a projected driving range beyond 800 kilometers, 497 miles, which U.S. regulators might peg at closer to 625 beat, 388 miles, representing a 10% gain over a Tesla Model 3 long range, with a 20% cost reduction versus today's batteries and fast charge in 20 minutes or less, with a showroom debut in 2026. Farther out, in 2027-2028, Toyota targets a high-performance bipolar battery with a high-nickel cathode and a cruising range of at least 1,000 kilometers, 621 miles, easily setting a world record for range, with that high-performance battery pack shaving 10% off today's costs and delivering an 80% charge in about 20 minutes. This bipolar battery serves as the immediate stepping stone before solid state, proving out manufacturing techniques and supply chains. Only after establishing these intermediate technologies does solid state arrive, benefiting from lessons learned across multiple battery generations. It's a methodical approach that prioritizes production readiness over rushing unproven technology to market, assuming the timeline actually holds this time. The competition isn't waiting. Around the solid-state race has become a global technological sprint, with major players converging on similar timelines. Mercedes announced that it put the first car powered by a lithium metal solid-state battery on the road in February. And just last month, Mercedes drove an EQS equipped with solid-state batteries for nearly 750 miles, 1,205 kilolimpers. That's real-world validation, not laboratory claims. Japanese competitors are equally aggressive. Nissan, despite severe financial challenges, opened a solid-state battery pilot production line and targets fiscal year 2028 for commercial launch. Honda's pursuing parallel development, betting its future competitiveness on mastering this technology before Chinese manufacturers dominate the market. Speaking of China, the competition there moves at breakneck speed. Chinese automaker Chery recently claimed 600 Wh energy density in a solid-state battery prototype, targeting 808 miles of range with pilot production in 2026 and mass rollout in 2027. Whether those claims prove accurate remains uncertain, but the aggressive timelines force established automakers to accelerate. The battery giants are mobilizing too. CATL and BYD, which account for over half of global EV battery sales, plan to introduce solid-state batteries around 2027, with mass production closer to 2030. Meanwhile, in August, SAIC-MG claimed the new MG4 was the world's first mass-produced semi-solid-state electric vehicle to hit the market, though that semi-solid-state qualifier matters. It's not pure solid-state technology, but rather a hybrid approach. This competitive pressure cuts both ways for Toyota. It validates that solid-state represents the industry's future, but it also means that arriving late, even with superior technology, carries real market risks. The winner won't necessarily be whoever builds the best battery, but whoever gets a good enough battery to market at scale first. What this means for safety and reliability, fire risk haunts lithium-ion batteries like an unshakable shadow. Every high-profile EV fire makes headlines and feeds range anxiety skeptics. Solid-state technology promises to eliminate this vulnerability entirely. Because the liquid electrolyte in lithium-ion batteries is flammable, switching to a solid-state battery comes with a lower fire risk. Given the nature of flammable organic electrolytes, a battery can be a fire hazard in case of overcharging or short-circuiting, while solid electrolytes possess a much higher thermal stability, making the solid-state battery one of the best choices for the next generation of batteries. This isn't marginal improvement. It's categorical elimination of the ignition source itself. Temperature performance expands dramatically as well. Inorganic solid electrolytes can work in hostile environments, such as in the temperature range from 50 to 200 degrees or even higher, in which organic electrolytes fail due to freezing, boiling, or decomposition. This means EVs that perform reliably in Norwegian winters and Saudi Arabian summers without complex thermal management systems struggling to keep batteries in their narrow operating windows. Solid-state batteries are touted as being smaller and therefore lighter than liquid-based batteries, with a greatly reduced risk of EV fires. The structural stability of solid electrolytes means thermal runaway, the chain reaction that causes catastrophic battery failures, becomes nearly impossible. No flammable liquid means no fuel for fires, fundamentally changing the safety equation. For consumers, this translates to EVs that don't require anxiety about parking in garages, don't need controversial fire containment infrastructure at charging stations, and won't generate alarming headlines about spontaneous combustion. That psychological shift might matter as much for mass EV adoption as the performance gains themselves. The Japan strategy behind it. The solid-state battery push represents Japan's counteroffensive against Chinese dominance of the global battery supply chain. The partnership is part of Japan's broader strategy to wean itself off of China and South Korea to establish a domestic supply of EV batteries. With Toyota being one of a few companies investing a combined 1 trillion yen, $7 billion, to build electric vehicle batteries in Japan. The Japanese Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry has validated Toyota's plans, providing not just regulatory approval, but active government backing. The new agreement was concluded after Toyota received METI certification for the production of new batteries in Japan last September under the Economic Security Promotion Act, legislation explicitly designed to secure critical technology supply chains. The material partnerships embody this strategic autonomy. Toyota has also announced an alliance with Idemitsu, a large Japanese oil company, with Idemitsu building a factory capable of producing 1,000 metric tons of lithium sulfide, an essential solid-state battery component, each year. with the plant also planning to manufacture solid-state batteries in 2027. By partnering with a petroleum company, Toyota leverages existing Japanese industrial capabilities. Idemitsu's sulfide byproducts from oil refining become critical battery materials. The sulfur components are byproducts of the petroleum production process, with their usefulness discovered in the mid-1990s, spurring the research that led to this partnership. This is industrial policy, executed through corporate partnerships, transforming Japan's traditional strengths in materials science and automotive manufacturing into advantages for next-generation technology. It is an attempt by Japanese manufacturers to get back some of the EV momentum that has been lost to China. The stakes extend far beyond Toyota's quarterly earnings. They encompass Japan's position in the 21st century industrial hierarchy. Which Toyota will get it first? Toyota's playing coy about which vehicle gets the honor of launching solid-state technology, but hints and logic point toward intriguing possibilities. The smart money's on a Lexus debut. Specifically, rumors swirl around the Lexus electrified sport concept showcased at previous auto shows. Premium positioning allows Toyota to absorb higher initial production costs while generating maximum buzz. Toyota's executive explained at the event that for the all-solid-state battery, the characteristic is high power, compact, and long range, descriptors that align perfectly with a high-performance sports car. Launching in a halo vehicle lets Toyota demonstrate the technology's capabilities dramatically, while production volumes remain limited by manufacturing constraints. There's strategic precedent here. Lexus has historically served as Toyota's technology showcase. Hybrid systems, advanced safety features, and luxury amenities debut in Lexus vehicles before trickling down to mass-market Toyotas. Solid-state batteries fit this pattern perfectly. The electrified sport concept promised supercar performance with extended range, exactly what solid-state technology enables. While Toyota originally planned to introduce solid-state batteries in hybrids, with an executive saying last year that this would happen by 2025, the automaker says it's now focusing on EV applications for the slightly later time frame. That strategic pivot signals confidence in pure electric applications rather than using hybrids as a safety net. The counter-argument suggests a mass-market crossover might make more sense, maximizing impact and demonstrating that solid-state isn't just boutique technology for the wealthy. But initial production constraints make limited volume luxury launch more probable. Expect the technology to debut with fanfare in something expensive and eye-catching, then migrate down market as manufacturing scales and costs decline through 2030 and beyond. The skeptics have good reasons. The pattern speaks louder than the promises. Toyota's latest timeline reaffirmation comes with substantial baggage, as the automaker initially promised solid-state batteries in production vehicles by 2020, then pushed the target to 2023, then 2026, and now 2027-2028. Each delay erodes credibility incrementally, transforming bold announcements into background noise. Just 2 days after Kaita's Japan Mobility Show statement, Electrek reported that Toyota was again delaying EV battery plans, citing slowing demand despite global EV sales topping 2 million units monthly for the first time. The timing couldn't be more damaging, proclaiming aggressive solid-state timelines while simultaneously walking back nearer-term EV commitments sends contradictory signals. Toyota reduced its 2026 EV production targets in September 2024, signaling a broader retreat from aggressive electrification commitments even as the company touts breakthrough battery technology. This disconnect between long-term battery promises and near-term production reality fuels skepticism. If Toyota lacks confidence in current battery technology, why should observers believe in future technology? Toyota's solid-state battery announcement follows a familiar pattern. Impressive technical claims paired with timelines the company has repeatedly failed to meet. With these announcements ongoing since before 2020, and each deadline coming and going with little more than revised promises and new partnerships to show for it. The boy who cried wolf dynamic has taken hold. Even genuine breakthroughs struggle for credibility when preceded by a decade of broken promises. Industry observers note the convenient distance of 2027-2028 targets, far enough that current executives avoid immediate accountability, close enough to maintain investor interest. Experts suggest that to do the build-out, production, and validation could easily take 7 or more years.